CP can't guard nobody, man. Everybody in the NBA know that.
Guard.
What we call them? Cone. You know what you do with cones? Like when in the summertime, you got a cone. You make a move. What does the cone do?
Stay still.
Exactly. Yeah. He's a cone. Stop playing, man. Everybody knows that.
Patrick Beverley just slandered Chris Paul as hard as we've ever seen anyone be slandered before.
This is a man who tried to kill me. Of course it's scary.
Okay, maybe not. Seriously, it was a masterclass. Beverley's hatred of CP3 is well known. It likely began as a part of the trade that sent Paul to the powerhouse Rockets and Beverley to the rebuilding Clippers. But is anything Beverley said actually true? Like stat-wise? Does CP3 struggle against Patrick Beverley? Is he slowing down at this point in his career and we're just afraid to say it? Or is Mr. 94 feet just stirring the pot, being a nuisance, and trying to reclaim the narrative of himself being an underrated, underappreciated lockdown defender?
Pat Bev trick y'all, man, like he play defense. He don't guard nobody, man, just running around doing nothing.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers, starting with what everyone really wants to know. Beverley versus CP3, head-to-head. Since they've both been in the league, Beverley and Paul have played against each other a total of 20 times. 16 times in the regular season and 4 times in the playoffs. In the regular season, Beverley has won 9 of those 16 games. In the playoffs, he's won 2 out of 4. Just by looking at the wins and losses, Beverley's comments seem pretty accurate. And it's probably the stat Pat Bev would want you to focus your attention on. He's beaten Paul more times than he's lost to him. Not something you would expect from a journeyman guard going up against the point guard. But once you dive into the numbers, Beverley's argument starts to fall apart. When they go head-to-head, Beverley averages 7 points, 2 assists, and 1 steal. All worse numbers than his career averages. Meanwhile, CP3 doubles or triples Pat Bev's numbers, with 1-on-1 averages of 18 points, 9 assists, and 2.5 steals. Paul thoroughly dominates Beverley on both sides of the court and is usually the best player on his team, which means opposing teams are watching film and building their defensive strategy around trying to slow down CP3. On the other hand, Beverley has often been a role player, hiding behind stars like James Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. Then you get to the 2001 NBA playoffs, and you start to see where a lot of Beverley's anger towards Paul might be clouding his judgment. In the 2021 NBA playoffs, Beverley and the Clippers met Paul and the Suns with the Western Conference title on the line. The series ended up going 6 games, with the Suns winning 4 of 2. Pat Bev got the better of CP3 on a number of plays, and of course, talked the most shit. But CP3 ended the Clippers' championship hopes. In Game 6, Chris went for 41 points on 16 of 24 shooting with 8 assists and 3 steals. Incredibly, CP3 had 0 turnovers. So I don't think the Clippers' zone defense was really bothering him that day at all. Not only that, Chris Paul then took his massive performance and turned it into an NBA Finals for the ages, reminding everyone why he's the point guard and winning Phoenix their first. Just kidding, this happened.
Drive, gets inside, leans in, knocked away and stolen by Holiday. Phoenix has to foul, and a pinnacle ball throws it down, and a foul.
But still, while Beverley won a few more regular season games against Paul, he's been thoroughly beaten one-on-one throughout his career. His 7 points per game average against Paul is pretty unimpressive. And I'm sure he could easily drop twice, maybe triple that against a plastic cone. Now, Pat Bev didn't only slander Chris Paul, he added insult to injury by comparing how he prepared against Paul versus how he prepared against one of the other greatest point guards of his generation, Stephen Curry.
If I'm playing a game and I'm getting ready for the Phoenix Suns, come on, let's go. If I'm getting a game and I'm getting ready for the Golden State Warriors, yeah, I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, I got an early one. I'm just saying, my preparation is very different.
I see.
That's all.
And that's because of Steph and Clay and all of that.
Steph.
Steph.
Yeah.
Against Steph, there was no partying. He had the lights out by 8 and made sure he got a good night's sleep. Now, hearing this, you would expect that Curry absolutely decimated Pat Bev compared to CP3. But while there's a difference, that simply isn't the case. Beverley and Curry have played against one another a total of 33 times, 25 times in the regular season and 8 times in the playoffs. In those matchups, Curry has won a total of 15 regular season games and 6 playoff games. He's also put up 25 points, 6 assists, and 1.5 steals against Pat Bev, including a 42-point masterclass that ended in a game-winning layup.
This may be the best three-point shooting half in NBA history. We're getting close. Curry with his first jumper here.
No, now he knows he can get by a bigger man. Overextending was Harrell.
Don't worry though, Pat Bev got into it with Chef Curry too. Overall, Pat Bev has once again come out on the very, very short end of the stick, with averages of 8 points, 3 assists, and 1 steal. Still below his career numbers, but better than his numbers against CP3. So there's no denying that there's some truth behind Patrick Beverley's words. Curry does have more points and does have a better record against him. Still, Curry has played on championship contenders during Beverley's whole career, while Chris Paul had stints in OKC and Phoenix, which when he arrived was not one of the better teams in the league. But still, there's a bigger issue that has been overlooked in all of this.
Bro, people target you too, Pat Bev. You ain't playing no defense out there. You ain't stopping Luka. This time and time again, I see Luka call your ass little man. He's too small and go right at you every chance he got. You're a cone. When you play Luka, you're a cone too. How would you like that?
Patrick Beverley is nowhere near good enough to be trash-talking Chris Paul. If Stephen Curry wants to trash-talk Chris Paul and tell him that he's a pylon on defense, he can go right ahead. If Kyrie Irving wants to tell Chris Paul he's as bad as the earth is flat, sure, weird, but we'll accept it. Heck, if Marcus Smart, the reigning defensive player of the year and a much better point guard than Beverley ever has or will be, wanted to talk a bit of smack about CP3 and try to get into his head, he could at least get the conversation going. But in no world should Patrick Beverley, a journeyman point guard who won't go down as a top 750 player in NBA history, be able to slander a surefire Hall of Famer like Chris Paul. Patrick Beverley is like the dude bragging after a fight he clearly lost. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? Is Beverley speaking the truth or is he way out of whack? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed these longer videos, hit the subscribe button and tick the notification bell. I have a ton of awesome content coming out and I always tailor my videos for the Henry Hoops audience. So if you don't want to miss out, hit the subscribe button. Peace.